Hey everybody, welcome to COSC 1153 Microcomputer Applications. This is section 3C203. It's a second 8 weeks course, and today, March 9th, is first day of class, so welcome to class. I hope everybody sees this the first day. I wanted to go over a few things with you for the getting started for the class, introduce myself. My name is Justin Smith. I'll tell you a little bit more about me in the introduction forum that I'm going to show you how to get started on, because that is your first assignment that's going to be due. But kind of wanted to give you a first thing. When you log into Moodle, you'll find go out there. First thing, you'll see your courses that you're enrolled in that are open. You'll see 3C203. Click on that. I'm actually logged in like a student right now, so my screen should look really similar to yours. Have a few extra options, but not a lot different. So first things first, you'll see my name, my cell phone number, and course email. Course email is where you'll need to have any correspondence with me. If you have questions, if you have issues, please email me there. If it's an emergency, last minute thing, and course email just isn't going to work out, you can use my cell phone, but I do ask that you use the course email first. Shoot me a text. I'm usually better about replying to text. Call me if you need me, though. Leave me a voicemail if I don't answer. So there's that contact information. There's also some good resources in here like the student handbook, bookstore, library, etc. This ProctorU testing. If you're going to use ProctorU to take your final exam, which we'll talk about later down the line, that's where you can go in and see the instructions to do that. If you are planning on doing that, though, I do recommend that you get it scheduled so that there's less of a fee. You don't have to today by any means, but don't wait till the last minute for the final either. You can take it at the testing center here at the college too, though, and then other approved testing centers. Some other information about do you need some help, but the things I want to go over right now. Right here's the syllabus. When you click on that, you'll see the course syllabus for this course. Again, you'll see the titles, things like that, phone number, description of the course, the textbook that we're going to need, and with the ISBN, it looks just like this. That is the textbook you'll need, and you will have to have it, and you need to get it as quickly as possible because we'll get rolling. This is a 8-week class, so we get rolling pretty quick, and stuff starts to pile up pretty quick if you get behind. So make sure to get that textbook. The learning outcomes, these are things that you'll be learning in the course, what you should be expected to learn. So review those, how to get started with the course, which is what I'm going over with you right now. Course structure, etc. Read through all that. I'm not going to read through all that with you right now. Here's how the course grades are being computed. There are 16 assignments, 10 forums, 10 quizzes, and one final exam to make up 730 points total. And then if your point totals fall within these ranges, that's where you get your letter grade from. That's how it will be computed. Some other information about academic ethics, course assessments, etc. So make sure and read through that. You do need to review all that, but that is the syllabus for this course. Close that out and go back over here. So as we scroll down the course, there's a news forum where I'll post general announcements and things like that. I usually record videos, but sometimes I'll just post a video, or excuse me, post a text message up there. Usually whenever I do that in the news forum, I'll go ahead and post it right here in the big center of the page, which is where you're probably seeing this video from, but then I'll keep a copy of it in the news forum so it emails you out as well to your student email. Really, really important thing right here, the due dates for the course. You can click on that. It's going to open up a Word document. You can see all the due dates for the course. Also, over here on the side, you should have an upcoming events, and you can actually go to the calendar. It's going to have all the events for the college as well. You'll see here, though, on the red dates, that's when we have course assignments due. So when you mouse over those, you can see those. I personally use the due date schedule, but you might like the upcoming events calendar as well. Another link to the syllabus. A link to the course email. Both of those are just like the one up here in the course, though. Course forum about question about assignments. You can ask questions there. I'll be checking it. Make sure if you see other people posting in there, get in there and answer their questions as well. There's an FAQ section. This right here, Office 2013 instructions. This book is set up to use Office 2013. However, if you have Office 2016, everything's going to line up and be almost completely the same, so it's perfectly fine. Don't uninstall Office 2016 to put 2013 on there, but if you don't have either one, make sure and open up your student email from the homepage of Moodle. There's a Pioneer Gmail link right there. Click on that. It'll open up as long as you've logged in one time. That's all that matters, because what happens is when you click on this form, it's going to pull up a form that requires that you have opened your email before. So you don't have to check your email or do anything in your email, but you have to open it up first to make this form work. So you'll fill out your first name and your last name, your email address, which is usually first.lastname@email.wc.edu. Submit that. And then the help desk will actually get a notification of that. They'll go into a Microsoft webpage and create you an account. And when they do that, you'll get an email in your student email that gives you a link and a username and password to go in and log in to Microsoft's website and download Office from there. Again, feel free to install 2016. It's the one that'll be by default you'll download anyway. It's not going to make a problem at all for this course. Before we get started on the introductory forum, I wanted to show you the due date schedule. If for any reason this does change, I'll let you know and post an announcement, but you'll see we're broken out by week with chapters. Notice week 2, I'm considering next week the start of week 1. Today is just the first day of class, but the first solid week is next week. Then the next week is spring break, so you won't have anything due. That also lets you have extra time for chapter 6 and chapter 7, and you'll see the due date for each of those. There are forums in the class. So the first thing is you're going to have an initial post, which I'll talk about here in just a second, for chapter 6, and it's going to be due Thursday, March 15th. What we're about to talk about, though, is this forum up here, the intro forum, and that is actually due Wednesday, March 14th. So that'll be the first thing you do, but when you get done with the video, that's going to be your instructions to go do that. So then the first coursework will be to read the chapter 6, this forum, assignments, etc., and I'll show you all that in the class. Couple things. Well, let's do the intro form first. So after you've reviewed all those things, you fill out the form if you need Office. We're going to do this introductory form. That's the first thing that's going to be due in the class. It's also going to be what we use to certify our roster, which means for financial aid purposes and stuff like that to make sure you're attending. So make sure and do this. It is worth the grade. So you click on the introductory form. All the forms are going to be set up just like this. They'll tell you what you have to do. And as long as no one's posted anything like they haven't today, you'll click on it. You'll see their discussions if they have, but to do yours, you'll click on add a new discussion, give it a message. So for this will be Justin Smith intro, whatever you want to do, and then type in your introduction there. Okay. I'll go back in later and fill all this in so you can get to know me a little bit better, and then we'll post it to the forum. Click on continue, and now when you go back, you'll see I've actually done an introductory form, and when you click on that, you can read it. And then here's where you'll click to add your replies, because you are required to do an initial post and 2 replies to 2 other people in each forum. So you'll have to go in and do those replies as well. And then I'll compute your grade. The initial post on all forums is worth 6 points. The replies are worth 2 points apiece. So you'll have to do those. Make sure and do both. I'll go back in and update that later so that you can see my introduction. So after you've done that, you've done the first assignment that's due March 14th at 5 o'clock. And then we'll start the actual work in the core of the course, all the topics. Some tricky stuff I want to show you about this, and I'm going to go through and add in some content about the chapters to help you out with the chapters specifically as we work on the chapters. But I wanted to show you. Notice how this has part 2, chapter 7, and then here part 1, chapter 1. This book that you have to have for the class is a little bit odd. There's actually 2 books that start out with a page 1 and a chapter 1, and then as you scroll through, there are 7 chapters in part 1, and then it starts over and does another page 1 and another chapter 1, so it's kind of weird. So there's the first chapter, the first part ends on page 248, and then there's a part 2 in the book, and that's where the Office stuff starts. So we will not have chapter 1 through 5 of part 2. We'll start with chapter 6 of part 2, which starts on part 2's page 157. So it'll be chapter 6, creating, editing, and formatting documents using Word. That's the first chapter we'll work with in the book. So you need to read that. And then you'll see at the back of the chapter, there's assignments. So when you click on that, you'll match up the project number that's in there, do that project, and submit it via Moodle. And I can help you with that. If you have questions on that, you can feel free to let me know, and I'll help you learn how to do that. Then we'll go to the next chapter 7, and then jump over to part 1, chapter 1, which are the concepts things. Those are just general computer concepts, things like that, not Microsoft Office like the second part. And there'll be a discussion again, assignment, and a quiz. Not every chapter has a quiz, because each chapter concept chapter has a quiz, but the Office chapters, like Microsoft Word. Chapter 6 and 7 are both Microsoft Word. They'll have one quiz combined. So you'll see that as you start working your way down the class that the Office chapters, those two are combined. So we're going to cover total 7 chapters of concepts, the first 7 chapters of the book, and then chapter 6 and 7, which is Word, 8 and 9, which is Excel, and 10 and 11, which is PowerPoint in part 2. So you'll see those as you go through. Just make sure you're always working in the correct part of the book, part 1 or part 2. I recommend taking a piece of paper once you find that division in the book and sliding it in there so you'll know you're working in part 1 or part 2. So after you do your introduction forum, you'll read part 2, chapter 6. Make sure and read the chapter. There's no way to not read the chapter and do really good in this class. The quiz questions are based off that. The final is going to be based off that. Make sure when you're reading the chapter, you read the sidebar information as well, because there's tons of information in there that's helpful, and quiz questions come from that as well. So if you get to chapter 6 resources, there's some different resources in here. Mostly there's a PowerPoint that goes over the chapter, the general concepts, but it is not a replacement for reading the book. There's also some self-assessment things or some other helpful things in there as well that you can explore. So once you get to chapter 6, you read chapter 6. First thing, discussion. Part 2, you'll see your initial post is due Thursday, March 15th at 5. That's next Thursday. Okay, and then assignment part 2, chapter 6, project 3 is due Monday, March 26th. Now that's a pretty big gap, but we have spring break that week. So make sure Thursday, March 15th is going to be your initial post is due for this. So click on that. You'll see what is that discussion. It tells you what you need to do, share some helpful tips or tricks using Word, or ask a question about the chapter assignments as you get there. You'll add your new discussion and reply to 2 other people. You have to add your discussion by Thursday, March 15th. It says that right here. Replies are due at the same time. Excuse me. Please see the forum name for when the initial post is due. That's the forum name right there. Okay, and then your replies are going to be due at the same time as your chapter assignment, and that's going to be the setup for the class. So your replies will be due with this assignment Monday, March 26th at 5. Okay, so you'll click on that. Make sure and read your assignment here, what it's about. Generally, they line up just perfectly with the book, but sometimes there's a little bit extra information. Sometimes they require it on the concept chapters to be created with Word, and the chapter project may say use PowerPoint or Word, so make sure you're doing what the chapter assignment in Moodle says. Okay, then also might be some helpful notes, like for instance this chapter 6 project 3 is going to be, you're going to complete projects 1 and 2 prior to completing 3, so you'll complete 1 and 2 and then complete 3. I'll talk a little bit more about that when I talk about the chapter. I just wanted you to see all that. That's pretty much it for getting started. The first thing you need to do, read the syllabus, make yourself familiar with this section of the course, okay? And then you need to do your introductory forum. So click on that, add your new discussion, and do your replies to other people as well, because you do have to do 2 replies as well to get full credit. Feel free to reach out to me. I have an office on campus. I work Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, so I'm on campus every weekday. Office A13 is where I'm at. There's a title by the door that says Director of Institutional Effectiveness. That is my job title. And then I do adjunct micro apps on the side. So if you have questions, you're on campus, feel free to stop in and introduce yourself and I'll help you. If you can't make it to campus, you feel free to use that course email, shoot me an email, and or text me, call me if you need me as well. My office number is 477-7915 if it's during the day, but cell phone will work too. But again, try that course email first. General questions about assignments, you can do it here, but I would recommend if you have a question about assignment for one of the Office chapters in part 2, that you use that as your discussion question, because you'll get credit for asking that question there. So as you get started in the class, if you have questions, something doesn't work, please let me know. But get started full force, because first thing other than introductory forum is your initial post for chapter 6 is going to be due Thursday, March 15th. Okay, so that's you posting a tip or trick, and that's you posting the or question. Okay, and then chapter 6 projects are going to be due March 26th. And then you'll start chapter 27. You'll see there's 2 assignments there and a quiz, and all that will be due Monday, March 26th as well with this chapter. And we'll do, sorry about that. Lights are set to go off if you don't move, and it's not picking my lips moving, I guess. So those 2 chapters will both be due with the first week. Then we'll do 2 chapters for the second week. After spring break, excuse me, that'll be the 3rd week. The only time we won't have 2 chapters for a week is with chapter 5 right here. There's a little bit of a break in there. So as you get down there, you may see you don't have a little less work that week, and that's just the way it fell. I'll give you a little break in there. So right now, best thing to do, go read the syllabus, go make sure and get familiar with these things, the due dates, download that, fill out that form if you don't have Office on your computer that you're going to be using. All the computers on campus are set up to work, and then do your introduction for them, okay? Do that. Start reading chapter 6, do your discussion, your assignment. I'll be posting some information about chapter 6 within the next day or two, and then start on chapter 7. Let me know if you have questions. Look forward to the semester with you.